You're watching TAG TV.
Good evening. Welcome to South Asia Newsline. I'm Lipakshi Khurana. Here are the top stories we're tracking for you on Wednesday, the 2nd of May. Indian Prime Minister reaches out to farmers in poll-bound Karnataka province. Pakistan's former Foreign Minister Asif challenges his disqualification in Supreme Court. And US Defense Secretary Mattis signals ongoing commitment to Afghan war. And now for all the details. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi reached out to farmers in poll-bound Karnataka on Wednesday, a day after kick-starting his Bharatiya Janata Party's campaigning in the southern province. He promised to empower farmers and reiterated his government's commitment to double their income by the year 2022.
A day after Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi hit the campaign trail for his Bharatiya Janata Party or BJP in Karnataka with 3 rallies, he reached out to farmers in the poll-bound province on Wednesday. Interacting with BJP's Kisan Morcha workers via the Narendra Modi app, he said the party needs to convince farmers to vote for a government that is sensitive to their issues. He claimed that due to the apathy of the Congress government in Karnataka, farmers in the southern province could not benefit from the centre's insurance schemes. He reiterated his government is committed to empower farmers and double their income by the year 2022.
भारत सरकार ने किसानों की आय 2022 तक दोगुना करने का संकल्प लिया है। हमारे मिशन में जब येदियुरप्पा जी मुख्यमंत्री बनकर के जुड़ जाएंगे तो उनका अनुभव, उनका कमिटमेंट हमें इस काम को और ताकत देने वाला है।
The Prime Minister is himself leading the poll campaign to ensure that his party returns to power in the southern province. Karnataka is important to the BJP because it will be its gateway to the south, which is vital to its poll calculations for the general elections in 2019. Opposition Congress has also stepped up the campaign in the province, one of the 3 provinces where the party is still in power.
In news from Pakistan, Pakistan's PMLN party leader Khwaja Asif on Wednesday challenged his disqualification verdict in the Supreme Court. The Islamabad High Court last week disqualified the former foreign minister from Parliament for life for not mentioning his foreign employment in his nomination papers.
Pakistan Muslim League Nawaz or PMLN leader Khwaja Asif on Wednesday challenged his disqualification verdict in the Supreme Court. The Islamabad High Court last week disqualified former Foreign Minister Asif from Parliament for life for not mentioning his foreign employment in his nomination papers. Asif has now stated in his review petition that he unintentionally failed to disclose his foreign work permit. He has pleaded the court to declare the IHC judgment null and void and fix the matter for hearing at the Apex Court. The High Court verdict came as one of the several judicial setbacks for the ruling PMLN party since the Supreme Court removed party founder Nawaz Sharif as Prime Minister in July. Asif, a close ally of Sharif, is one of the most high-profile PMLN figure in government and was among names tipped to replace Sharif when the 3-time Prime Minister was disqualified by the Supreme Court over undeclared income.
Moving on, university students across the United Kingdom have unanimously called for implementation of tighter counter-terrorism policies to tackle the issue of terrorist infiltration along the border between India and Pakistan. India has long blamed Pakistan for regularly training and assisting militants to infiltrate its borders and spread unrest in the Kashmir Valley.
Students from different universities across the United Kingdom have unanimously called for the introduction and implementation of tighter counter-terrorism policies. In a resolution, the students strongly condemned the growing radicalization of youth in Jammu and Kashmir and terrorist infiltration along the border. Participating in a day-long conference on the theme, Terrorism in Jammu and Kashmir, the students also called on both India and Pakistan to de-escalate the level of violence in the region. Director of Europe-based think tank IFSAS, Junaid Qureshi was severe in his criticism of the Pakistan military establishment and intelligence agencies providing arms and training militants to lead a proxy war in India.
In 2017, there were 200 terrorists killed in the Valley of Kashmir, and out of those 200 terrorists, 70% were not Kashmiris. They were Pakistani nationals who came to Kashmir for fight.
India has long accused Pakistan for regularly training and assisting armed militants to infiltrate its borders and spread unrest in the Kashmir Valley. Pakistan denies the allegations.
In news from Afghanistan, U.S. Defense Secretary Jim Mattis on Tuesday said that NATO will hold the line and stand by the people and the government in Afghanistan. His remarks came a day after twin bombings in Afghan capital Kabul killed more than 25 people on Monday.
U.S. Secretary of Defense Jim Mattis on Tuesday said that NATO will hold the line in Afghanistan a day after an explosion in Afghan capital Kabul killed more than 25 people on Monday. Mattis made the statement during a meeting with Macedonia's defense minister in Arlington. His remarks came as Taliban militants also announced their usual spring offensive last week, and there has been heavy fighting in several areas of the country since.
But unfortunately, once in a while they get through, because any terrorist organization that realizes it can't win by ballots and turns to bombs, this is simply what they do. They murder innocent people. We'll stand by the Afghan people, we'll stand by the Afghan government, and the NATO mission will continue as we drive them to a political settlement.
Monday's deadly twin bombing in Afghan capital Kabul were claimed by the militant group Islamic State. The attacks came a week after 60 people were killed as they waited at a voter registration center in the city. They have now underlined mounting insecurity despite repeated government pledges to tighten defenses.
Moving on to news from Bangladesh, Rohingya refugees in Bangladesh who fled a military crackdown in Myanmar last year demanded for compensation and citizenship from the UN Security Council on Tuesday. Officials from the Security Council visited the refugees and also met Bangladeshi Premier Sheikh Hasina in capital Dhaka.
Rohingya Muslims living in no man's land on the border between Myanmar and Bangladesh on Tuesday said they had stated their demands for compensation and citizenship to the officials from United Nations Security Council during their recent visit. Myanmar and Bangladesh agreed in January to complete the voluntary repatriation of the refugees within 2 years, but difference between the two nations remain and implementation of the plan has been slow. The Security Council envoys arrived in Myanmar on Monday after visiting refugee camps on the Bangladesh side. The Council had asked Myanmar in November to ensure no further excessive use of military force and to allow freedom of movement, equal access to basic services, and equal access to full citizenship for all.
তারা এক এক দলিয়া কষ্ট পাই দেই নেকান নেকান মাজারা দেখাই দেখানোর বাদে তারা চাই চাওয়ানোর বাদে তোমরা ইয়ার পরও আবার হুদার তোমরা কেন নইলে যাবে তোমরা যাবে কেন যাইম বই কেন নইলে তোমরা যাবে কই তো আমরা বর্মার দেশময় যাইম বই আমরা যে ক্ষতিপূরণ কলো ইয়ে যে আর মানুষজন বেশি আর মা বোন খাড়ি ফেলাইয়ে মারি ফেলাইয়ে ইউন যদি ক্ষতিপূরণ আর দিলে আর ওয়াবস্তিক ভাবে যাইম বই এ হতাই তার আল্লাহ আর তো উত্তর লইয়ে.
Earlier on Monday, the Security Council envoys also met Bangladeshi Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. Hasina urged the council to press Myanmar to take back hundreds of Rohingya Muslims who have taken refuge in her country. Nearly 700,000 Rohingya Muslims fled from Myanmar's Rakhine province to Bangladesh to flee a military crackdown launched in August last year.
Around 400 couples tied the nuptial knot at a mass marriage ceremony in India's northern Kanpur city on Tuesday. The unique gesture by the organizers aimed at reducing financial burden on the families of the brides.
Over 400 couples tied a nuptial knot at a mass wedding ceremony in India's northern Kanpur city on Tuesday. Both Hindu and Muslim couples entered wedlock during the ceremony, which was organized by the Labour Department of Northern Uttar Pradesh province on the occasion of International Labour Day. The newlywed couples will also be given around $975 by the government.
इसमें हिंदू मुस्लिम दोनों जोड़ों का विवाह हो रहा है। 65,000 रुपये इनके खाते में आरटीजीएस के माध्यम से भेजा जाएगा।
बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है यहाँ पे। यहाँ अच्छा लगने से आगे की जो है 8 साल आने वाली में इससे भी ज़्यादा जनता बढ़ने की संभावना हो जाएगी।
Mass weddings are increasingly becoming popular, especially among the economically backward sections of the Indian society, as they reduce the financial burden on the families of brides. Conventionally in India, the family of a bride is expected to bear the expenses of the wedding and also give dowry, deemed as gifts to the bride, which could be in cash or kind to the bridegroom.
A flood rescue training program was recently held in India's northern Jammu and Kashmir province. The training held in Srinagar city was organized to prepare the volunteers in case of any natural calamities like floods and earthquakes.
As part of its disaster management plan, the State Disaster Management Force in Srinagar city of India's Jammu and Kashmir province recently conducted a rescue exercise to train volunteers for flood-like situations. The main objective of the program, organized at the iconic Dal Lake, was to train the volunteers in swimming and boat riding so that they can help common people in case of any natural calamity. There were around 37 trainees, including both boys and girls, who took part in the exercise.
सबसे ज़्यादा हमने देखा कि 2014 में जो फ्लड ने तबाही मचाई थी, उस टाइम हमारे पास उतने इक्विपमेंट्स भी नहीं थे और उतनी अवेयरनेस भी नहीं थी। तो उस चीज़ को मद्देनज़र रखते हुए गवर्नमेंट की तरफ से कुछ स्कीम्स आई हैं, डिज़ास्टर मैनेजमेंट की तरफ से हमारे को इम्पार्टेड करना है, कुछ ट्रेनिंग्स आम लोगों तक पहुंचानी है, जैसे फर्स्ट एड कैसे किया जा सकता है, रेस्क्यू ऑपरेशंस कैसे किए जाएंगे उस टाइम।
इसमें हमारे 2 डेज़ की ये स्विमिंग और बोटिंग की ट्रेनिंग थी, जिसमें हमें कल स्विमिंग सिखाई और बोटिंग भी सिखाई। मैं इससे पहले कभी नहीं आई थी पानी में, आज हमारा मेरा फर्स्ट टाइम था। तो यहाँ पर जो हमारे इंस्ट्रक्टर्स थे, इन्होंने अच्छे से सिखाया, बॉयज़ को भी सिखाया, गर्ल्स को भी सिखाया और हमें अच्छे से ट्रेन किया इसके लिए, ताकि हम खुद को भी डिफेंड कर सकें आगे और बाकियों को भी बचाएं और सबको सेफ्टी अवेयरनेस दें।
Owing to its extreme weather conditions, India's Jammu and Kashmir province has witnessed many natural disasters, especially in the 19th and early 20th centuries. Floods in 2014 were one of the biggest natural calamity in which hundreds were killed in the Kashmir Valley.
A football tournament aimed at promoting sports among the blind concluded in India's southern Kerala province on Tuesday. The outfield players in this version of the game are completely blind and wear eye shades to ensure their completely blocked vision.
The final leg of third edition of the National Blind Football Tournament concluded with flying colours in India's southern Kerala province on Tuesday. The home team won the game and the sparkling trophy too. The tournament held in Kochi city was organised by Indian Blind Football Federation or IPFF, which is an independent federation set up in 2016 with an aim to promote sports among the blind.
What we aim to do through this is create awareness so that more teams come forward, they take up the game in a bigger way so that the blind, as they sit wherever they are, we want to encourage them to play football, any sport for the matter.
I feel so happy today because we have been working a lot for this day, and especially the academy players are eagerly waiting for this tournament.
The outfield players in this version of the game are completely blind and wear eye shades to ensure the completely blocked vision. However, the goalkeeper may be partially sighted. There are no throw-ins and offside rules in this form of sport, and the field has a rebound wall. The spectators sit quietly to ensure that the players can hear the ball.
Well, that's all we have for you from South Asia this evening. Now our viewers can watch the show on SouthAsiaNewsline.com. You can also visit us on Facebook.com/SAsiaNewsline and follow us on Twitter @SAsiaNewsline. That's all in tonight's edition. We'll see you same time tomorrow. Good night.
You're watching TEG TV.